Hi, everybody. I was just told by a Christian that we had some technical difficulties when we started. I was trying to use this live from my laptop and thought that it didn't connect, and obviously it did. So if you saw Christian in his t-shirt, sorry. But we're here and we're working and everything is up and going well. I hope everybody's doing well today. With this quarantine situation that's still going on, with everybody who is at home with their kids, or they're at home and they're trying to get some work done in the middle of this situation, or if you are on the front lines and you are taking care of people, if you're one of the essential workers, let me just say that we appreciate everything that you're doing, all of the sacrifice you're making, because we know that it's stressful and it's hard. So let me just get that out of the way and say that first. Second of all, let me say welcome to Therapy Thursdays with the Faith Community. This is a part of our Daily Bread series that we've started doing, that we just want to give people a little bit of encouragement. We just want people to be able to have something to look forward to on a daily basis. We keep you for an extended period of time. It's not a church service or anything like that, but we just want to put something out there, useful information, whether it is something that is therapeutic, if it's something that can help you reduce stress and anxiety during this time, if we can meditate together, if we can talk to the Creator together, or whatever you need, we try to meet those needs on a daily basis. So before I start, let me say that we, the Faith Community, are having a virtual communion during our worship service on this coming Saturday. That's from 4 to 5:30. And the reason that I'm making that announcement is because I know that there have been several churches that have asked their members to come to the church to pick up whatever they use for communion. That's not the Faith Community. We want you to have your own elements, whatever you're going to use to participate in communion virtually with us. So I just want to make sure that I put that out there so that you can put that on your calendars. If you need to go by the store to get whatever you're going to get to participate in communion with us, we would love to have you. It is Easter weekend. You know, we have church on Saturdays, or we meet on Saturdays. So sometimes I get thrown off about holidays, but this weekend is Easter weekend. So we're going to come together and have some communion. Moving on to Therapy Thursdays, I want to talk about a topic that has really been bothering me for probably 2 weeks. And I think that everybody that I've had an opportunity to talk about this with has kind of been like, yeah, you know, I didn't really think about it that way. And I feel like I know the intention behind these statements and behind these memes, but I don't think that we are considering the seriousness of what we're putting out. So, hey, Marielle, let me see who else is in here. Marielle's in here, Christian is in here, whoever else is in here. Really appreciate you all tuning in. We're here daily at 6:30. So today for Therapy Thursday, I am talking about the pressure to perform during this quarantine. Let me say that again. Today's topic is about the pressure to perform. Okay? Okay, so let's get started. So I've been looking at these posts for probably about 2 weeks now. I've seen memes, I've seen people post their own words, I've seen church flyers, I have seen all types of things that are urging the community as a whole to be as productive as you can be during this time of quarantine, during this time of self-isolation, during this time of not being able to go out because there are all of these public restrictions on where we can gather and how many people can be in one spot at the same time. And when I first saw it, I'm always considering things from a therapeutic perspective. I cannot help it. You can ask any of my friends. You can ask my husband. It's in me. I look at stuff. I never look at things from face value. I'm always thinking about how something might affect somebody that reads it or sees it, or how somebody might internalize that, right? So my first thought was, no. And I say that because this isn't like any other situation we've been in. And let me start by saying I do have notes, yes, because I want to stay on track, because this has disturbed me to a point where it could turn into a soapbox, and I don't want it to. So first, let me say that culturally, we are obsessed with productivity. We are literally obsessed with productivity. We value work over rest. So much so that we will get into judging other people who decide to take a break because all we feel we should be doing is working and producing. So there's that. As a culture, we're obsessed with productivity. We also put a lot of value and self-worth into how productive we are, what we accomplish, what we achieve, what we can mark off our to-do lists, what goals we can get done. We place a lot of our value and our worth in that because that's the way our society runs. Everything is about getting things done. Everything is about keeping things moving, being as productive as you can be. Churn out that book, churn out that business. We see those posts all the time. And that's cool if that's what you want to do. And under normal circumstances, I would say, absolutely. If you have those things going on and you have the time and you have the support and you have the finances, by all means, put your plans to action. Get you some good people around you and put your plans to action. However, during this time where people are inside against their will, a lot of people are inside against their will. They can't go out. They can't hang out with their friends. They can't go to work like they normally would. They just can't be out. They're not exercising. They're not socializing like they normally would. It changes our mentality. It changes the way we think. Our routines have been changed. There are a lot of things that are being affected by this virus and our restrictions that have been placed on us so that we can stay safe. So my first concern, because I think the first meme that I saw was one that said, if you don't pick up a new hobby, a new skill, a new this or new that, then time isn't your problem. Discipline is. No, that is incorrect. We are in the house because we are literally in fear of our lives. We are literally in fear of our lives. We're not in the house because we want to, because we want to be. We're not in the house because we want to be. We're in the house because we're fearful. We're fearful about going to the grocery store. We're fearful about crowds. We are fearful for our friends and our loved ones. So to tell people that in the middle of this epidemic that we have going on, in the middle of this crisis that we have going on, economically, we have a crisis going on. People are losing their jobs. People are having to figure out what to do with their children. People who are caretakers of their parents and other elderly people are concerned. People who have pre-existing conditions are concerned. So to place the responsibility of heightening productivity during this time is absolutely insane to me. First of all, who are you to tell people how they should handle this period of time while we all try to figure out how to recalibrate and continue to function as normally as possible? Who are you to tell somebody that? My second concern about that is that it is extremely judgmental. It's extremely judgmental for me on the outside to decide what somebody else should be doing or not doing while they are in the house trying to survive. It's judgmental. Second of all, or third of all, should I say, it is pressure. We put pressure on people, and pressure causes stress. Pressure causes anxiety. And we have no idea how anxiety manifests itself in different people. Everybody handles anxiety and stress differently. Like I said, people are worried about their children. People are worried about their parents. People are worried about whether or not they can keep their jobs. Some people have already lost their jobs. People are worried about if they have enough money to feed their families. We have single parents at home trying to juggle work, trying to juggle their children's schoolwork and all of their children's moods. And so for us to tell them, well, you need to make sure that you're doing all of these things with your time, or you're not disciplined. When you come out of this, if you don't come out of it with something, then you just have wasted your time and you haven't been disciplined. Let me tell you, that is completely false. We are in the middle of a global crisis. For some, and they're able to produce and they're able to churn out work and they're able to feel stimulated by the pressure. They can work under that. Myself, I can't work under that. I can't work the same way. I've gotten some things done, and I've been able to create some new things, but my brain isn't even functioning the same way because I'm always concerned about being clean. I'm always concerned about if I'm coughing too much, and I know that's funny, but am I coughing too much? Is my breathing right? Do I feel okay? I'm hot. Does that mean I have a fever? So we're constantly thinking about those things. So it's not easy for everybody to be productive on top of being worried and on top of being anxious and on top of being scared. It really is too much to ask of people to do that. And a lot of people also need to use this time to sit still, because some people have used all of their time working. They've used all their time for travel. They've used all their time giving time in other places. So now is a great time for the busybodies. And that's not a negative thing, because a lot of people, that's just their nature. They're just busy. Now is a good time to sit home and reconnect and get to know your family, get to know your significant other, get to know yourself. Because a lot of times we are busy because we're running from ourselves. So some people need to sit still. They don't need to be just as busy as they would be if they were working outside the home. Some people need to be still. So you have anxiety that the pressure to perform causes. You have undue stress that the pressure to perform causes. And it also causes shame. I feel like those memes and these posts that are talking about how productive people need to be during this crisis is shaming people in a way. Like if you don't come out of this with something, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Absolutely not. You shouldn't be ashamed of yourself, because this is about survival right here. And that might sound extreme to you. That might sound far-fetched that this period of time is about survival, but it absolutely is. When my friends call me and they tell me they don't feel good and they can't get into the hospital, I'm concerned about that. When I see posts from my friends and my family that their family members have died or that their family members are in ICU, that is stressful. That is very, very, very stressful. So far be it for me or anybody else to tell you how you should spend your quarantine time. Some people just need this time to disconnect so that they don't lose it. Some people are going to use this time to be productive and get some things done. But some people just need to take this time, disconnect from the outside world to maintain their sanity. They need to reconnect to their families. They need to figure out how to be social using all of our virtual platforms. For some people, that is productive. Getting out of the bed, making sure that they don't watch too much TV and take in too much news and too many opinions, that's their productivity for the day. Or some people may just have a goal for the week, and that's their productivity for the week. It's not anybody's job to tell you how you should spend your quarantine time, what should come out of that time, and what you should be doing while you're in your house. So let me leave you with some things that you absolutely should be doing during quarantine time. Practicing some self-compassion. Be nice to yourself. If you have something that you're working on and you get distracted and you find yourself having difficulty concentrating, go ahead and take a break. And don't beat yourself up about taking a break either, because you need it. You need it. Take a break, do something, come back to it, try to finish it. And if you feel like you've given all the energy you can give, put it down to the next day and go do something else. That is perfectly fine. Self-compassion. Be nice to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Talk nice to yourself. Don't beat yourself up because you can't get it done all in one sitting. Don't do that. Don't do that. Number 2, listen to your body. Trust yourself. I know what your pastor might be saying. I know what your pastor's wife might be saying. I know what your boss might be telling you you need to do. I know what your family might be telling you you need to do. And all of that pressure and all of that incoming chatter, at the end of the day, you need to learn to trust yourself. You have to trust your body and listen to your body. If your body is saying this is enough, if your mind is saying this is enough, I'm overworked, then it's just enough. Regardless, it's enough. And you can quit and not feel guilty about that. Okay? All right. Also, your best might not look like somebody else's best. If you're saying this is the best that I can do, that is perfectly fine. Don't compare your best to your friend's best. Don't compare your best to what other people on social media are doing and churning out and producing, because that will do nothing but make you feel bad. Your best is your best, and that's it. Your best is unique. So be perfectly content with your best during this time. Okay? Okay. And lastly, I'm going to end by saying this quarantine time isn't about a waste of time and a lack of discipline. That's not what this is about. This isn't a decision that we made globally to take a break and sit down and everybody's just going to sit in the house and take our time to do some things that we put on the back burner. That's not the situation. That's not the situation. That is not the situation. We didn't ask to have to stay in the house. We didn't make a choice about whether or not we were going to stay in the house. That's just the restriction that we have right now. And for a lot of people, that's a lot to handle. So this isn't about, oh, I have to stay in the house, so let me use my time wisely. Let me show how disciplined I can be. Absolutely not. You use this time to do whatever you want to do with this time. If you want to be productive, do that. If you have some things that you want to get accomplished and you feel like you haven't had time until now, by all means, do that. But what I'm asking you not to do is place your goals for productivity on the rest of the world. Not your friends in your timeline, not your family, not your boo. Don't put your expectations for your productivity on other people. It is completely unfair to do so because you don't know how people are handling this situation. You don't know what else people have going on that they have to deal with in their homes, because everybody's home isn't a healthy place to be. So asking people to be super productive during this time and making them feel bad if they aren't is absolutely reckless. I'm trying to be mindful of what I say because this really grinds my gears. It is completely reckless to tell people how they should be handling this situation and how productive they should be and what they should be churning out while we're all trying to figure out if we have enough groceries and if our moms and dads are okay and following the rules, if our kids are okay and following the rules, if I'm still going to have a job. It's just not healthy to do it. It's too much pressure. Let people be. Let people be. The other thing that I'm concerned about is people who are internalizing stuff that their authority figures say about how productive they need to be. I'm also concerned about whenever they run into each other in public when this is over, and the person who feels like they've had to be productive all this time is now going to have to scramble to figure out what they're going to tell people that they've been doing, because everybody around them has been telling them how productive they need to be. Now they got to make up something to tell everybody that they've been doing. I'm not doing it. I'm not telling anybody to me. I'm not telling any of my clients that I've been talking to that have been stressed out that they need to continue to be as productive as possible. I'm not doing that. I'm checking in to find out where people are. Tell me where you are. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what's been going on. And then we can work from there. And if you're cool with being productive, like I said, by all means do that. But if you're not and you're having a hard time and you're struggling and the best that you can do is maintain your sanity from here until we get to go back outside, then do that. Take care of yourself. Listen to yourself. Listen to your body. Listen to your mind. Pay attention to these physical symptoms that come up when you start to get anxious and stressed. And don't worry about what other people are producing and churning out during this time. It's not your business. Just like what you do in your house during this time is not anybody else's business. So I'm going to go ahead and go because I didn't mean to be this long in the first place. I hope everybody is well taken care of. I hope that everybody is safe. I hope that everybody is experiencing as less stress as possible and a reduced amount of anxiety. I just found out that we have a few more weeks to go on this quarantine. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I just want this situation to be over and done, just like I know everybody else does. Like I said, meet us on Saturday. If you're connected with the faith community, we are going to have communion virtually with each other. Gather your elements, your family, your friends, your boo, your dogs, your cats, whoever. We're going to get together and also look forward continually every day at 6:30. For Daily Bread from the faith community. We're going to come to you with something, whether it's a recipe, meditation, something to help uplift you throughout the day, keep you sane, keep you connected. We love y'all, and we will be back tomorrow at 6:30. Y'all have a good night.